about. Let's get to our next guest, Milwaukee Brewers pitcher Corbin Burnes, back at it with us. Corbin, great to see you. And actually, on this topic, I want to drive right into it with you for a second. Madison Bumgarner designated for assignment. I mean, he's had a great run in this league and probably will continue it, like Kratzy said. We were talking about him getting after it with Contreras yesterday, and Garrett Wilson in the chat was asking who in the league is the biggest trash talker among pitchers. So what did you think about Mad Bum getting into it? And we were saying, like, that's just him. And do you observe that from other players?
Yeah, I mean, he's done it ever since he's got to the big leagues. You see it every year. He's jawing at guys and doing it. And like you said, I think it's part of the intimidation factor, and guys know that, hey, if you do something he doesn't like it, he's gonna let you know. I remember, gosh, it was I think it was 2018. We faced him at home, and he was John at, I think, Scope or Bronny or something, and Scope came up and hit a grand slam, and I think we hit a walk-off grand slam like the sixth inning that day. We were all mobbing the field, screaming at him. Just kind of one of those things that he brings energy, but it'll energize the other team too if you let it.
Yeah, I played with him the next year. I remember that because he told Braun to get back in the box, and Braun was like,
"That's right."
He was like, "What? Don't talk to me." And I talked to Bumgarner the next year, and he goes, you know what? I really didn't want to throw at Bronny, but he said he kind of challenged me in the box, so I had to throw at him. And he goes, damn, Scope hit the ball really far the next time up. He goes, I guess that's what I get.
Yep.
But, Burnsy, have you ever had a situation like that? Have you ever gotten into somebody's face? And I'm not just saying Contreras because he was on the Cubs. Now he's on the Cardinals. But is there a guy on another team that you're like, yeah, I definitely yelled at him? Or have you yelled at a teammate yet? Are you that status yet? Are you a yell at the teammate guy yet?
No, not there. Maybe when I get to your age, maybe I can do that. Maybe
okay, fair.
Need some more.
There you go.
Need some more time before I can do that. No, I'm not one of those guys who likes to get in, get in other guys' grill and jaw at them. Obviously, there's some things that'll make you upset or piss you off a little bit out there, but I think I've got good enough stuff that I can just go ahead and get you out when I need to, and not have to give the other team that a little extra energy or a little bit of excitement to get them going.
Yeah.
Corbin, how you feeling? How's the pec? Do you feel like it's recovering well and you'll make your next start?
Yeah, everything's good. Played catch yesterday and everything felt good. We got an off day today, so just hanging out, and then bullpen tomorrow will be kind of the final test to make sure we don't feel anything. But playing catch yesterday, throwing a little fly ground, everything felt good.
Burnsy, what's up, man? Did you get a haircut?
No, it's just pulled.
You just got it pulled up. You got it pulled up nice and tight. You can't even see it back there. Yeah, I wanted to ask you. Obviously we've been talking a lot about Max Scherzer today and the sticky stuff. Me personally, I want to know what sticky stuff you use to make your cutter do that. You talked about I don't really say much to guys just because I know I can get them out. Well, that's true. You just throw that backdoor cutter and nobody can hit it. So let's talk. Let's dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not a sticky stuff guy. You watch. I lick the finger. That gives me enough. Enough. Some guys use the sweat and rosin. For me, I can't get a consistent enough feel on it because every rosin bag's different, and when it's cold, you're not getting enough sweat, or when it's really hot, you're sweating too much. So, for me, what I found the most consistent thing to do is to lick my finger, and I get enough, and that's how I can get the most consistent and get the best feel in the baseball. And I think what happened with Max yesterday was unfortunate, but obviously I don't know any of the details. Just having seen the little bit on TV and a little bit of conversations, but I'm sure we'll hear some more about that in the next couple of days.
Have you ever been close, since you don't use anything, when they test you, or have umpires kind of just been like, oh, it's Burnes, okay, whatever? Like, have you ever been close? Because this whole situation, this whole week with Herman, which made us, when Max was on Monday, we talked about it with him. I had never seen the fact that, oh, hey, go in, clean it off, and then we'll come and inspect it again. Like, I never knew that. Have you ever been close?
No, I've never gotten that. I think we've seen can't think of we were playing someone last year where they were asked to go in and wash their hands and clean off their hand or whatever it was because they felt like it was getting too much of a buildup with rosin or something. But that's the only time I'd really seen that. And then, like you say, we see it on social media all the time when, like the Herman thing the other day where he was asked to go wash it off, and then obviously the Scherzer thing yesterday. But yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't been asked to do it. So I don't know if those guys are getting just sticky and they're being asked to remove it because they know it's sunscreen and rosin, and it's just getting too tacky. But I'm not sure. That's something that I'll definitely talk to some other guys on the team just to see if they've had that issue before. But yeah, never been asked to go wash off my hands or anything.
I think some pitchers are concerned about it. We had Matt Barnes on earlier where he's like, yeah, I use rosin. It's like, am I going to get in trouble now? He's like, I don't know what the level is. He's saying how much sweat can come off of my head. Everyone sweats differently. I'm in Miami. It's humid. So my big picture question is, and I know it's not affecting you because you're not using rosin and sweat, but how are they actually able to tell a stickiness level? You're relying on an umpire who probably didn't learn that in ump school. Like, are they putting different levels of stickiness on people's hands, on dummies' hands, and going, see, that's too much? It sounds like they're trying to mess with science, but not actually using any testing equipment.
Yeah, I mean, if you talk to every umpire, every umpiring crew, they all say, "Oh, we've dealt with it. We've tested what sweat and rosin and what everything feels like, and what different tackiness and what illegal substances feel like, that kind of stuff." But I mean, and unless you're in the in-game action and you're sweating, like Max is a guy you can see he sweats his ass off. So it's like, is anyone that's testing it going to have that level of sweat and the rosin to test the tackiness? So I don't know what their levels are of what's sticky, what's too sticky, what warrants hey, go clean your hands off and start over kind of thing. I don't know what that is. It's obviously it's very subjective to each umpiring crew and each umpire. Obviously, Phil Kesey and his crew, that's the third one they've done, and all three have happened to come from his crew. So I don't know if they have different levels that they're testing and have different expertise with it. I really don't know, but I think there's something definitely going on that needs to be figured out of what that levelness is, how you can actually test to see if something's too sticky, and just also knowing where like you say, the environment you're in. If you're in Miami versus if you're in Colorado Springs where there's not going to be much humidity, it's obviously going to be a lot different.
I want to switch the sticky stuff to talk about glue. Who's the glue of the Brewers? And I'm not talking about who's putting the glue out for the Brewers when they go out to a team dinner. It's a play on words here. Who's the glue for the Brewers right now? Who is, like, what are you guys? Because when you're winning, sometimes you're like, I'm not exactly sure how we're going to win, but this. Who is that for you guys right now?
Yeah, I would say on the position player side of it, Willie Adames is great. I think we don't have any better guy as far as bringing energy to the field every day. Can connect with everyone on any level. He comes into the clubhouse like it's opening day every day. He's excited to go. He's excited to play. The guy doesn't take a day off. He's in there every day. So it's someone that I think everyone can look to as far as like, hey, this guy's ready to go. We're ready to go. And then a huge difference this year for our pitching staff has been Wade Miley. Wade's been around the game for 14, 15 years. He brings some level of expertise that none of us can bring, and he's energized. He's on a young team with a bunch of young guys that have him feeling better than he ever has, and he's excited to be around us, and he keeps our pitching staff really light and fun. So I think those two guys right now are probably the leading two guys as far as keeping that clubhouse energized, getting everyone going every day. Wade's brought a bunch of fun stuff to the clubhouse, for post game and in game, just all kinds of stuff to keep everyone energized.
All right, you need to answer this question quickly because I ask guys and it really stumps them. So I set you up. Okay, on your team right now, you have to cut one guy. He can't be playing baseball anymore. You got to trade one guy, and then you have to room with one guy. Go. You got a timer. I'm gonna put you on the pitch clock. Go.
I'm cutting Rowdy because he takes up way too much of the couch. Like, he's constantly on the couch. You can't get him up off the couch. Trade. I mean, really, the answer is going to be Rowdy to everything. We'll trade Rowdy. He's just
Oh.
I mean, we love Rowdy, but yeah, he does like to spend his time on the couch.
Who are you in a room with though? The last one is room with. Who are you going to
Room
room with?
That's a good one. I'll room with I'd say Rowdy, but that's too much of a mess. I'll go with Wade. Wade's a good time. He's fun.
Wade, I got a question about Wade. Is he still getting
Yep.
jalapeno poppers and taking the jalapeno out of the actual popper and just eating the fried cheese? Because he used to do that in Boston. Love Wade.
I haven't seen that yet, but I'm gonna ask him about that one for
He
sure.
said he said he doesn't eat anything that's green. So he's got to do something if he's still pitching, man. But like we used to give him a hard time for that.
That's the thing with Wade now. Wade's like, I've worked out this year more than I have in my entire career. So now he's like, man, my legs kind of hurt. Like you guys maybe work out, and I got muscles now, and so now shit hurts, and stuff's never hurt before. So he blames a lot of his success and his soreness is on the training staff and the strength staff for actually making him work out. And hey, I mean, I'd say it's paid off so far.
Hey, what do you think about the Cheesehead celebration? And Freddie Peralta's response, while loving it, was, "What do pitchers get?" And we talked him into it too. And the idea was, if someone has an absolute day, not in between, of course, and we made sure he knew that. He was like, "No, I want to stay in the zone." We're like, duh. 6, 7 innings, whatever you did, 8 innings, you shut him down. Can the pitcher get the Cheesehead? Because, hey, if you hit a homer in a 13-1 game, you get rewarded. So can pitchers get involved? I don't think I've seen it go down yet. Freddie said he was going to implement it at the right time. Your thoughts?
We haven't seen it yet, but like if Freddie's gonna go out and shove and do his thing, and he wants the Cheesehead, we can put the Cheesehead on it for sure. But I think the Cheesehead's great. It's something that I think the fans can get behind because obviously Wisconsin cheese, whatever, and it's something that they've seen forever and around the Packers, and so now just to bring it, I think to baseball and have it'll be a little fun deal. I'm sure the team store is going to be selling Cheeseheads, in by the hundreds now. If we keep rolling and keep hitting homers, I'm sure we're going to see a lot more Cheeseheads around the stadium for sure.
I have a fan question for you from Garrett. He said, for any young pitchers in high school or college, from a metrics point of view, what do you feel are the most important metrics?
That's a good question. I think for any young guy, coming up or just getting into pitching, getting into that side of the the analytics and the metrics part of it is just first of all, understanding them, knowing that hey, some of these guys have really good fastballs, have 19 to 20, 20 inches of rise on them. Those are the good, classified as good four-seam fastballs, and knowing like, hey, is that something you're actually going to be able to do? That's something that I chased for a long time, and in 18 and 19 was being a good four-seam guy and trying to be a good four-seam guy with a good slider off it, and I was chasing numbers and found out later on that I was never going to be able to get to that, and that's where this cutter kind of came into play. So I think for the most part is understanding what those numbers really mean, and then understanding, hey, is that something that's really feasible for you to do? For me, trying to chase that high four-seam vert was not something I could do. Instead, I could turn into a cutter and mixing some other pitches around it. So I think for the most part, it's understanding what those numbers mean. Can you really feasibly do that? And if not, then finding what kind of what fits your game the best.
What's the you said today's the off day. What do you got? What do you got going on today? Like, what's the big fella doing? Is Carter involved? What's going on?
Yeah, so Brooks up watching Carter right now. He was just screaming his head off a little bit ago. We just put together a little a jungle gym for him, which he played on for all of about 30 seconds and then was over it. So that was fun. So yeah, we're going to head to Whole Foods here in a little bit. We just had a 10-day road trip, so we don't have too many groceries at home right now. So need a grocery run, and then we'll get some dinner tonight. So it's full dad mode today.
Love it. Corbin, I got to do one hard-hitting one for you.
Yep.
So today, Fernando Tatis Jr. returns. Wanted to get your thoughts and how other players feel about PEDs and testing and everything in the game. Everyone experiences it, of course, because everyone gets tested. So what do you think about his situation and where we are as a sport on that front?
Yeah, so Brooks up watching Carter right now. He was just screaming his head off a little bit ago. We just put together a little a jungle gym for him, which he played on for all of about 30 seconds and then was over it. So that was fun. Yeah, Yeah, I think I think it's unfortunate. Obviously, a great young player like him to obviously get popped and go through that. Coming on the heels of him signing this huge extension and the excitement around around the game, around the Padres, around him at the time. I think it was unfortunate for obviously that fan base to miss out on 80 games of him playing, then also the game of baseball missing out on that. So. I think it's tough. It's obviously it's the consequence for taking a performance enhancing drug like that. It's not something that's new. It's been around the game for a long time, and whether guys have just shied away from it or gotten better at hiding it, whatever it may be, it's obviously not as prevalent, but it's still there. So I think it's just unfortunate. Obviously he's back today, so I think it's going to be obviously an exciting day in San Diego and for baseball to get an exciting young player back. But I think the game of baseball really took a hit with him missing the time like he did.
Who should be the face of baseball? Who should be the guy that you would tune in to watch on Foul Territory?
Oof. I think right now it'd be tough to argue against Shohei and what he's done for the last couple of years and what he can do on both sides of the ball.
I know a little bit of Japanese. I know how to say I farted in Japanese. And I know how to say, did you fart? So.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long that conversation would go then.
It's okay. I mean, onara deta, and then you say onara shita. So there you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, so when we have Shohei on, we know what Kratz is asking him. Good luck.
Yeah.
Hey, a good way to finish there. Corbin, thanks for the time, dude. Great to have you as always. Enjoy the off day.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, of course.
Say Burnesy.
Corbin Burnes with us on Foul Territory. I like it. Wow.